بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علمك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Bidayat Hikmah. We are discussing chapter 12 about the horizontal intellects في العقول الأرضية, and this is from the last section. So chapter 12, section 12. We mentioned the idea of illuminationist philosophers, Ashraqiyun, that they believe for every type of being that we have, there is an intellect that is perfect, is completely actual. So if, for example, we have different horses, there is a perfect horse which is intellect and has every potential for goodness that a horse can have. It has that potential actualized, and that is responsible for taking care of all the horses and running them and managing them. So it is Rabbun Nu', is the Lord, is the archetype for that special type. So this is the idea that they have, and we said it is very similar to the idea of Plato. Not exactly the same, but very similar. So now we want to study their arguments. And Allama Tabatabai mentions their arguments, but he also mentions his critique of those arguments. He doesn't accept them. The first argument is that if you look at these different types of beings, animals, plants, non-living beings, they have lots of effects, lots of characteristics, especially when it comes to animals. They have al-quwwah, the faculty responsible for growth, for reproduction, and many things like this. Who is responsible for managing all these things? How can every horse which is born, for example, become a horse, with all these details, and not like a donkey or not like a zebra or whatever? Every type of fruit, every type of flower, they have their own, details. Who is doing this? You cannot say they are all managed in the nature, in the universe of Tabi'ah. It must be something above. And that is the intellect responsible for that type of being. But Allama Tabatabai says it doesn't need to be in the way that you say. Every type of being has a suratun nu'iyya, has a kind of substantial form which is for that species, for that type. For example, for us, we are natiq. Yes? So that suratun nu'iyya, remember the difference between surah and fasl. We said surah and fasl are very similar, yeah? Madda is like jins, surah is like fast. The only difference is that madda and surah cannot be predicated of each other. Jins so fast can be, yeah? So haywan and natiq. Natiq is fast. But we have nafs al-natiqah, which is surat al-nu'iyya for us. anything that we as human beings have and other animals don't have is because of that surat al-Nu'iyyah. Or horse has a surat al-Nu'iyyah, substantial form, that is responsible for anything that horse has and donkey doesn't have, or elephant. Pardon? Yes. Which is related to fasl, but different consideration, beshart la or la beshart with respect to ham. So, what is responsible for differences is Surat al-Nu'iyyah. Who grants Surat al-Nu'iyyah? Who is mufid la Surat al-Nu'iyyah? It can be aql fa'al, according to Mashai. Yes, it is aql, but it doesn't need to be as many intellects as Ishraqiyun say, that for every type we have an intellect. They all can be under one intellect, which is the active intellect, aql fa'al, which is the lowest intellect, but above the physical world, above the material world. Okay? So there is a truth in what they say, but their argument falls short. It doesn't prove that there must be many horizontal intellects. So, first look at their argument. This is the first argument. منها وقد احتجوا لإثباتها بوجوه. They have argued for proving عقول أرضية بوجوه in different ways. منها, one of those arguments is this: أن القوى النباتية من الغاذية والنامية والمولدة أعراض حالة في جسم النبات. Those faculties which are responsible for nabatiya, means for vegetative life. You know that we said animals and plants share vegetative life, but animals have also something above, which is animal life. And we have also something above animals. But we all share, human beings, animals, and plants, we all have hayat nabati. We all have vegetative life. Yeah? You remember we said we are جسم نامي حساس متحرك بالإرادة ناطق. جسم نامي is common between us, animals, and plants. When you say حساس متحرك بالإرادة, then it's common between us and animals. And when you say ناطق, it's only us. Okay? So, أن القوى النباتية, those faculties which are related to the vegetative life. So vegetative faculties means something which is responsible for qadiyya. Qadiyya, qadha means ta'am. Qadiyya means the faculty responsible for digestion. You can take food, chemicals, whatever, and use it to get energy and to grow. This is what animals do, plants do. Yeah, we have the ability to take food and produce energy. Yeah, we don't need petrol. One namiyah, and the faculty responsible for growing. Animals and birds can grow. It is interesting in the Quran, Allah says also, أَنْبَتَكُمْ مِنَ الْأَرْضِ نَبَاتًا. For human beings, also, أَنْبَتَكُمْ. Allah grew you from the earth. We are like a flower, because we have hayat nabati ola. One namiya, so namiya is for growth. Wal muvallida, tawlid. Welada means reproduction. Yeah? So, the faculties which we find in vegetative life include the one which is responsible for nutrition, the one which is responsible for growth, the one which is responsible for reproduction. These faculties أعراض حالة في جسم النبات. These are accidents that are located in the body of nabat, anything which has vegetative life. متغيرة بتغيره. They change with the change of that jism. متخللة بتخلله. They get into anything that jism gets into. ليس لها شعور وإدراك. They don't have any understanding. Okay? Does the faculty of nutrition or reproduction or growth in a plant have understanding? Sheikh says no. So, since they are there and they don't have understanding, فَيَسْتَكِيلُ أَن تَكُونَ. So it is impossible that these faculties which have no understanding أن تكون هي المبادئ الموجدة لهذه التراكيب والأفاعيل المختلفة والأشكال والتخاطيط الحسنة الجميلة. These faculties which have no understanding cannot be origins that give existence to these combinations, to these different actions, to these forms and shapes, designs which are hasana, good, and jamila, beautiful. So much, beautiful design is there. They cannot be done by this quwa. على ما فيها من نظام دقيق متقن تتحير فيه العقول والألباب. With this system that is there, which is daqiq, very precise, mutqan, very well and properly designed and planned. Itqan means, you remember hadith that Rasulullah said, Allah loves those who do something, do it properly. إذا عمل شيئا, like this, أتقنه. And Rasulullah was very carefully preparing the grave of one of his companions. And they said, see the grave, and we are going to put lots of soil. He said, no, Allah loves people when they do something, does the servant, does it properly. Itqan means very proper and firm way of doing things. Suyuti also has a book, very famous book, Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran. So there is such a accurate, precise, and proper system that تتحير فيه العقول والألباب. Intellects means human intellects, and albab, lub means like brains. Human intellects and brains are perplexed. تتحير, they are pardon? Perplexed. Like the book Dalalatul Ha'irin by Ibn Maymun. It's a Jewish philosopher and theologian. He's very close to Muslim philosopher. His book is Dalalatul Ha'irin, the guide to the perplexed. It's very famous. فَلَيْسَ إِلَّا أَنَّ هُنَاكَ. So, since they cannot be responsible, so there is no other option other than saying that أَنَّ هُنَاكَ جَوْهَرًا مُجَرَّدًا أَغْلِيًا. There is a substance which is immaterial, which is عقلي, it's a matter of intellect, يدبر أمرها, manages their affairs, ويهديها إلى غايتها, and that jawhar, that aql, is guiding its own type, any individual in that category, in that type, into their ends, pushes them, guides them towards their end, so that a seed of apple becomes apple tree, a child of human being or animal, become, grown individual. فَتَسْتَكْمِلُ بِذَلِكَ, and because of that they become complete and they become perfect in their type. Okay, this is their argument. But وَفِيهِ, Allah says there is an objection here. أَنَّ مِنَ الْجَائِزِ, it is possible. Scholars say إِذَا جَاءَ الْإِحْتِمَالِ بَطَلَ الْإِسْتِدْلَالِ. Whenever you argue and you say this is the way to explain something, we have a fact, okay? You say this must be because of this. If someone can show that what you say can be true, but not because of what you said, can be because of something else, then your argument collapses. Okay? For example, we go out, we see the road is wet. You say it must have rained. But someone else says maybe there was a truck that was washing the road. So your argument will collapse. So there's no only one explanation. There can be another explanation. Okay? أن من الجائز أن ينسب ما نسبوه إلى رب النوع إلى غيره. It is possible that what they have attributed to Rabbun No, to that archetype, it's possible to attribute that to something else. One scenario is what you say, but we have another option. If your scenario was the only explanation, we had to go by it. But there is another possibility. من الجائز أن ينسب ما نسبوه إلى رب النوع إلى غيره. It is possible that what they have attributed to the Lord of that type would be attributed to something other than it. How? فإن أفعال كل نوع, actions of every species, every type, مستندة إلى صورته النوعية. In that level, everything goes back to the substantial form that they have. Like natiqiyya for us. Then, who grants this surat al-nu'iyya? It can be aql fa'al. One aql. Why we need to have too many aqls, too many intellects? It can be one. فَإِنَّ أَفْعَالَ كُلِّ نُوعٍ مُسْتَنِدَةٌ إِلَى صُورَتِهِ النُّوعِيَّةِ. The actions of every species is attributed to the substantial form of that species. وَفَوْقَهَا, and above that surat al-nu'iyya for each of them, we have al-aqlul akhir. Above that is al-aqlul akhir, the last intellect, the lowest intellect. الَّذِي يُثْبِتُهُ الْمَشَّاءُ, that masha'un prove. وَيُسَمُّونَهُ الْعَقْلَ الْفَعَّالِ, and they call it active intellect. So why we need to go by your scenario? What is wrong with scenario of mashal. And normally, this is also something that we discuss in philosophy of science. And science means not empirical science only, philosophy. One of the ways to prefer a theory to another theory, it's not a proof, but it's a preference, is simplicity. If you can explain something by referring to one factor, and another theory explains it by referring to 4 factors, the one which is more simple is preferred. Okay? If everything is equal, of course. It's not a guarantee, but if everything is equal, it's better if a theory can explain things with less parameters. Because it means that you are going more underlying. Because when you go more underlying levels, it becomes more and more simple. Second argument now. وَمِنْهَا. This is the second argument of whom? Yes, Illumionists or Ashraqiyun. أَنَّ الْأَنْوَاعَ الْوَاقِعَةِ فِي عَالَمِنَا هَذَا. These species that are in our world, this world, عَالَمِنَا, our world, هذا, this world that we have, على النظام الجاري في كل منها دائما من غير تبدل وتغير. And in each type there is a system, ongoing system. This is not changing. There is a continuity in every species. There is something that is not changing in horses or donkeys or elephants or animals, other animals. These cannot be by accident. ليس واقعة بالاتفاق. These different types of beings, they cannot be existing with this continuity by accident. فلها ولنظامها الدائمي المستمر علل حقيقية. So for them and for their daimi, eternal and mustamir, continuous system, there are real causes. So there must be a reason. Because either you have to say it's ittifaqi, means by accident, or you have to explain it by finding a cause. Okay? Ittifaqi means there is no cause, it's just by accident. What is that cause? What are those causes? Walaysat, those ilal, which are real, those ilal haqiqi, those real causes are not except jawahira mujarradah, immaterial substances, tujidu hadhihi al-anwa', which creates these types of beings. وَتَعْتَنِي بِتَدْبِيرَ أَمْرِهَا, and take care of managing their affairs. دون ما يتخرصون به من نسبة الأفاعيل والآثار إلى الأمزجة ونحوها من غير دليل. And not what some people have guessed. Takharrus is a kind of guessing and speculating, but without reason. So Sheikh Ishraq and his followers say, if you want to explain, you have to find these causes, real causes. Not to say there is mizaj, in a kind of disposition in each type of being that takes them to that direction. They have tried to attribute the actions and effects into mizaj, a kind of disposition in them. بل لكل نوع مثال. This is the right way, according to Sheikh Ishraq. For every type of being, a species, مثال كلي يدبر أمره. there is a mithal. Mithal means idea. Yeah, mithal doesn't mean example here. It means like Aflatun, say the archetype. Pardon? The prototype. Kulliyun. Kulli here, he will explain just after this, he explains. We mean by kulli not what we used to say, mafhum is either juz'i or kulli. Kulli means ma la yamtani'u sidquhu ala kathirin. Remember, he said a concept is either juz'i, which can be only applied to one case. Kulli is possible to be applied to more than one. Maybe right now we don't have any instance. Yeah, like dinosaur is kulli, although we don't have any dinosaur. Or maybe we have one example, like wajibul wujud. The concept of wajibul wujud is kulli, the concept. But how many wajibul wujud is there? Only one. So something can be kulli and have many examples, like humanity. Something can be kulli and have one example. Something can be kulli and have no example. Yeah, like that. But this was concept of kulli. Here, when they say مثال لكل نوع مثال كلي, for every type, every species, there is no مثال is an idea which is kulli. Kulli here means a perfect like horse. Not that can be applied to them like mafhum wajibul wujud or mafhum al-insan. They mean that all the perfections in them exist there. So kulli in the sense of perfect, in the sense that he will explain it. وَلَيْسَ مَعْنَى كُلِّيَّتِهِ جَوَازَ الصِّدْقِهِ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ. The meaning of kulliyah is not that it is possible to be applied to more than one, to many. No. We mean by kulli this. بَلْ إِنَّهُ لِتَجَرُّدِهِ, because it is abstract, it is immaterial, it has equal relation with all horses and it's not one of them. تَسْتَوِي نِسْبَتُهُ إِلَى جَمِيعِ الْأَفْرَادِ. It's the perfect horse. It is not mafhum that we can say, like mafhum kulli would be applied to juz'iyat. But you can say every horse has equal relation to that. Every horse is a horse because falls under that prototype. Okay? Again, Allah mentions the same counter argument. Allah says, okay, forget mizaj. We don't say mizaj. But again, Surat al-Nu'iyyah, and Surat al-Nu'iyyah itself is by Aql Fa'al. Every af'al, every athar, means every action and every effect of them, first is because of Surat al-Nu'iyyah, and who grants Surat al-Nu'iyyah? Aql Fa'al. You don't need anything else. وَفِيهِ أن الأفعال والآثار المترتبة على كل نوع, actions and effects of any type of being, any species, مستندة إلى صورته النوعية, it's attributed to its substantial form for that type, like ناطقية for us. ولولا ذلك, and had it not been that they have this Surat al-Nu'iyyah, لم تتحقق نوعية النوع. Yeah, because that is the last differential also. Can we exist without natiqiyah? Or for example, they say horse is haywan al-sahil. Sahil with sad and ha. Himar is haywan al-nahiq. Of course, this is fasl, not real fasl, it's just for the sake of teaching. If these last differential, which is in another sense Surat Nu'iyyah, if they don't exist, Mahiyya is not complete, so they cannot exist. We cannot have just Haywan. Haywan has to be haywan and something. Haywan and atiq. Haywan and sahil. Haywan and ahiq. Just haywan, which is not, none of these cannot exist. So we need Surat al-Nu'iyyah. لولا ذلك لم تتحقق نوعية النوع. Had it not existed, that would not become a species, a type of pig. فالأعراض المختصة بكل نوع هي الحجة على أن هناك صورة جوهرية. So all the accidents that are there for any type of substance, they prove that there is suratan jawhariyya. There is a substantial form which is al-mabda'ul qarib, which is the near origin, or you can say the near cause, the near source. So the nearest thing to them is Surat al-Nu'iyyah. But what is granting Surat al-Nu'iyyah? Aql fa'al. كما أن الأعراض المشتركة دليل على أن هناك موضوعا مشتركا. The same way that we were, one way to prove that there is Jawhar. How do you prove that there is Jawhar? Because we don't see Jawhar. Our senses don't perceive substance directly. And this is why some people like John Locke, they said, we accept Jawhar as a kind of, we call fard lazim, as a kind of supposition. We have to suppose that there is Jawhar, because through empiricism, they cannot prove there is Jawhar. And David Hume went further and said, if we cannot prove it through experience, so why we should suppose that it exists? So according to David Hume, we have only a'raz, no Jawhar. But Muslim philosophers say, and also of course, people like Aristotle, that these accidents cannot exist without having a subject that they belong to. And if you deny Jawhar, according to what Allah says, من أنكر وجود الجواهر لزمه جوهرية الأعراض. Then you make those a'raz Jawhar. Because then you can say they can exist by themselves. So then it becomes Jawhar. So you wanted to deny one substance, then it became more substances. So, in the same way that common accidents, like for example, you have wood, it has some color, it has some smell, it has some touch. So you say there must be a Jawhar that has all these accidents on it. In the same way, we can say there is Surat al-Nu'iyyah, which is giving all these substantial differences. فَفَاعِلُ النِّظَامِ الْجَارِ فِي النَّوْعِ هُوَ سُورَتُهُ النُّوعِيَّةِ. So, the fa'il, the agent or the doer for this ongoing system in every species is Surat al-Nu'iyyah. It's substantial form of that type. But what is the fa'il for that Surat al-Nu'iyyah? وَفَاعِلُ السُّورَةِ النُّوعِيَّةِ كَمَا تَقَدَّمَ, as we said before several times, جَوْهَرٌ مُجَرَّدٌ يُفِيضُهَا عَلَى الْمَادَّةِ الْمُسْتَعِدَّةِ, is an abstract or immaterial substance that grants this Surat al-Nu'iyyah to the maddah, to the matter which has potential for it. It's capable of taking this. فَتَخْتَلِفُ الصُّوَرْ بِاخْتِلَافِ الْإِسْتِعْدَادَاتِ. It's not by accident or arbitrary that Aql Fa'al doesn't give a human form to a embryo of horse. It's not arbitrary. Because human embryo can receive human soul. Yeah, because it's musta'id for that. It has capacity for receiving that. Yeah, it's not arbitrary. Anything has some potential, and you can give what that thing can take it. Okay? فتختلف الصور باختلاف الاستعدادات. So forms are different because of difference in استعدادات, in the capacity and the potentiality for receiving that they have. أما أن هذا الجوهر المجرد. Okay, we need immaterial substance that grants these صور نوعية. There are two options. One is your scenario that you say this Jawhar Mujarrad is as many as different types that we have. There is scenario of Masha'un, that there is only one Jawhar that gives all of them. أما أن هذا الجوهر المجرد عقل أرضي يخص النوع ويوجده ويدبر أمره, as إشراقيون say, أو أنه جوهر عقلي من العقول الطولية إليه ينتهي أمر عامة الأنواع, as مشاؤون say, فليس تكفي في إثباته هذه الحجة. This hujjah is not sufficient in proving that. Okay, now I explain. I read again, but just I want to know the general structure of this sentence. So he says, this mujarrad is, as you say, means you have to have many uqul for each type, or it is one aql mujarrad responsible for all anwa, as Masha'un say. Your argument cannot prove that yours is the only one. There is another possibility. Yes, we say that there must be a Jawhar Mujarrad. But why horizontal intellect can be one? Okay? But now let's read the sentence again. أما أن هذا الجوهر المجرد. But to say that this substance which is immaterial is intellect, which is ardi, which is horizontal. يخص, is exclusive to that species. يوجده, creates it. ويدبر أمره, and manages the affair of that type. So there is one exclusive Jawhar for each type that creates it and runs it, as Ishraqiyun say. Or أنه جوهر عقلي, there is intellectual substance من العقول الطولية. In this hierarchical series of intellect, there is one there, not exclusive for each of them. No, just one common جوهر مجرد عقلي. إليه ينتهي, to it ends أمر عامة الأنواع. All the affairs of all the species go back to this one. So, there are two scenarios, two theories. ليس تكفي في إثباته هذه الحجة. This proof is not sufficient to prove which one. Why you are taking it for granted that you are the only people who can explain this. The third proof about قاعدة إمكان الأشراف. We have said this before in the previous course on philosophy and sometimes here. Philosophers have a rule, like قاعدة al-Wahid. There is another rule, which is actually related to قاعدة al-Wahid. And that is Imkanul Ashraf. Imkan means possibility. Al-Ashraf means the more honorable. Yeah? What do they mean? They mean that when we have hierarchy of beings and each of them has certain level of perfection, this ladder of hierarchy cannot jump over one rank or two ranks and then end here and start from here. If you have a waterfall, when water comes from the top, has to go gradually all the way down. You cannot see it stops here, then there is no water, then again it starts here. It's not possible. Okay? The same is in wujud. When wujud comes like a waterfall down, or you can say like light is spreading from a source, it has to fill every level. Okay? So they want to use this qaida, Ishraqiyun want to use this qaida and say, we have this anwa. We have horse, we have elephant, we have camel, we have human beings. And you cannot deny that a horse which is perfect is higher than them. But still it is lower than some higher realities. So they must exist because they are higher than this and, for example, less than Aql Awwal, for example. Okay? So they must exist. Say, no, this is not the right way of using this qaida. All the levels which are needed should be available. But it's not up to you to decide that how many things have to be horizontally. In other words, according to Masha'in also, we have all the levels. Aql Awwal, Aql Dawwum, Aql Sawwum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and then Alam al-Mithal, for examal, if we accept Alam al-Mithal, inshallah we'll talk, and then Alam al-Tabi'at. Everything is gradual, no gap, no jumping, no bypassing, even according to my show. If you want to be more technical in evaluating their argument, this is the important point. We say, okay, you have horse, you have elephant, you have animals, all these kinds of animals. There must be something higher than them. Yes. There must be something that has their perfection. Yes. But who said that must be insan? That must be camel. That must be elephant. It can be another being which has perfection of human beings, perfection of animals, but it's not a human being or animal. Our main disagreement with you is that you want to say there is another human being, another horse, which is higher. We don't have problem with having something higher, because definitely this should be created from top. Yeah, they come from top. But who said they must be unsung or ass or horse? Okay? The text here is a little bit not clear. So you have to listen carefully to the way I explain it. منها الاحتجاج على إثباتها بقاعدة الإمكان الأشرف. One of the arguments to prove عقول أرضية, horizontal intellects, is to argue from the rule of إمكان الأشرف. فإن الممكن الأخص, أخص with sin, not صار. أخص is opposite to أشرف. خصة means min, to be min, low. Sharif means high. Yeah? فإن الممكن الأخص, ممكن which is أخص, low. إذا وجد, if it exists, وجب أن يوجد الممكن الأشرف قبله. If it exists, the contingent which is higher than it must exist before it. Before, we are not concerned about before in time, because sometimes there is no time. Before in order. Last week also I said, yeah, before means it's higher. In order it's before. Because sometimes it can be before in time as well, but sometimes you reach a point that there is no time. Yeah, in uqul there is no time. Aql awwal is before aql dawwam. Yeah, first intellect is before second intellect. Before in what? In time? There is no time there. Pardon? In order, in level, yeah. Yes. So, if the contingent which is lower exists, وجب أن يوجد الممكن الأشرف قبله, then the contingent which is higher must exist before it. وهي قاعدة مبرهن عليها. This is the rule which is well argued, well, proved. Ishraqiyun and Masha'un both accept this rule. Even in transcendent philosophy, this rule is accepted. The main thing is how you want to apply it. لا ريب في أن الإنسان المجرد الذي هو بالفعل في جميع الكمالات الإنسانية. This is where you have to be very careful. This is where Ishraqiyun now want to bring their own piece. Imkan Ashraf is not their own piece. This is what agreed by everyone. Now they want to add something to it to come to their own conclusion. The whole thing is here. لا ريب في أن الإنسان المجرد. There is no doubt that ideal human being, immaterial human being, or horse or elephant, الذي هو بالفعل في جميع الكمالات الإنسانية, which has actually, it is actual in all perfections of human beings. You cannot think of any perfection for human beings that ideal human being lacks, or any perfection for a horse that ideal horse lacks. You cannot think of anything that it lacks. It's absolutely complete and perfect in its type. Horse is horse. You don't expect from horse, to be a writer or poet. But as far as to be horse is concerned, it's perfect. Okay? So, they say there is no doubt that immaterial, ideal human being, which is actual in all the perfections for human beings, is ashrafu wujudan. For example, we are talking about human being. Is higher in existence than what? Al-insan al-maddi, than material human beings like us. We are not ideal human beings. We are not immaterial human beings. We are material human beings. We are in the world of matters. We are, partly bil-quvva, partly bil-fil. We are not 100% bil-fil. أشرف وجودا من الإنسان المادي الذي هو بالقوة في معظم كمالاته. We are in most of our perfections potential. Even you cannot say, no, we are 60% actual. On the day of judgment, you would see how much of potentialities you had that you didn't actualize. Yeah? How many languages you could learn? How many skills, you could learn? How many sciences you could master? How many virtues you could, develop? We have not grown that much. Yeah? Pardon? Yes. 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 Even, for example, if we are not able to fulfill or actualize all potential that human beings have, because, for example, it may need more time and resources. But even those things that I could fulfill, because maybe I could not, do everything within 60 years, 70 years. So there are things that even if I was doing perfectly, still my time was not enough. So there are two levels. One is all the potential that human beings have. Second is all the potential that I had opportunity to materialize. Even this one, we have not done it. You get my point? There are two things. فوجود الإنسان المادي الذي في هذا العالم, so existence of material human beings, means human beings which have potentiality, which is in this universe, عالم طبیعت, عالم ماده, دلیل is a reason على وجود مثاله العقلی. It's a reason that its ideal intellect, or its intellectual ideal must exist. You must have ideal human being. الذي هو رب نوعه, which is the Lord of this humanity, this species. So the core of their argument is this. Because we have material human beings, we have, partly potential human beings, and complete human being is higher than them, so it must exist. You say, okay, there must be something higher than this, but who said that also must be a human being? You are here, somehow taking it for granted, or you are begging the question. وَفِيهِ. Now the answer to this. This is the last point in this chapter. أن جريان قاعدة الإمكان الأشراف, to apply, to use the rule of imkan. Here the text is in need of, you have to explain it in a special way. Otherwise, it looks wrong. If you don't read it properly, it looks wrong. So please read it in this way. To apply the rule of Imkanul Ashraf and get your conclusion is conditional upon saying that Ashraf and Akhas must share the same Mahiyat Nau'iyah. If you don't translate as I say, you think that this is the condition for Qaidi Imkan Ashraf. No, this is not condition. For them to bring Qaidi Imkan Ashraf here, they have to say that Akhas and Ashraf must be from same Mahiyah. And this is not proved. You get it? حتى يدل وجود الأخص في الخارج على إمكان الأشرف بحسب ماهيته. You have to bring this condition so that you can say that when the lowest exists, the highest of the same mahiyah must exist. When we have low human beings, we have to have ideal human being. Who said in Qadi Imkan Ashraf that Akhas and Ashraf both should be the same mahiyah? We say there must be something higher, but not necessarily, again, that also has to be from the same note. For example, we say above human beings is Aql Fa'al. Okay, Aql Fa'al is not insan. Above horses is Aql Fa'al. Aql Fa'al is not horse. But any perfection in horse, in elephant, in human beings, come from there. And it has more. Okay, you understand? So to bring that qa'idah is conditional upon saying Ashraf and Akhas must share the same mahiyah, so that existence of Akhas in outside can indicate the possibility of Ashraf بحسب ماهيته, from its own type, its own quiddity. ومجرد صدق مفهوم على شيء لا يستلزم كون المصداق فردا نوعيا. He says when we say a concept can be used for something, it doesn't mean that it is from the same type. You know, we have ilm husuli and ilm huzuri. Ilm husuli is حضور صورة المعلوم لدى العالم. Yeah, علم حصولي حضور صورة المعلوم لدى العالم. علم حضوري is حضور المعلوم لدى العالم. In علم حصولي, image of what is known is present. An image, according to many philosophers, is كيف نفساني. It's an accident, aras, but it is psychic aras. كيف نفساني. Okay? But ilm huzuri is aras? No. Ilm huzuri is the existence of ma'lum for alam. It can be an existence of something for itself. Yeah? Ilm shay بنفسه. Or ilm shay بحالاته. I am aware of my anger, for example, my joy. There is no كيف نفساني here. So, ilm huzuri and ilm husuli, both are ilm. And ilm huzuri is higher than ilm husuli. But can you say that ilm huzuri has also to be kayf nafsani? They should have the same mahiyya. No. كما أن صدق مفهوم العلم على العلم الحضوري لا يستلزم كونه كيفا نفسانيا. In the same way that when the concept of knowledge can be true for knowledge by presence, okay, this truthfulness or correctness of applying the concept of knowledge for ilm huzuri does not imply that ilm huzuri is kayfa nafsani. In the same way, من الجائز أن يكون مصداق مفهوم الإنسان الكلي عقلا كليا. It is also possible that what is that insan kulli, which is 100% actual, it can be something that technically we don't put it in the category of insan. It's not mahi of insan. Like you don't put ilm huzuri in the category of kayf nafsan. It can be aqlan kulliyan min al-uqul al-tuliyya. It can be an intellect, which is kulli in the sense that it has equal relation to different types and different individuals, but hierarchical, vertical, not horizontal. عنده جميع الكمالات الأولية والثانوية التي للأنواع المادية. It has all the perfections, primary and secondary. You know primary and secondary perfection? What does it mean? Primary perfection is what is about essence. Secondary is what is additional. For example, for us, anything which is about haywaniya and natiqiyya is primary perfection. But then on top of that, you are a sha'ir, you are a poet. You are a katib, you are a writer. You are a teacher. This is sanawi. Means secondary, means addition to your first essential perfection. Okay? So, that aql has all the primary and secondary perfections that in material species exist. فَيَسْتُغُ عَلَيْهِ مَفْهُومُ الْإِنسَانِ مثلا لِوِجْدَانِهِ كَمَالَهَا الْوُجُودِ. You can say to aql fa'al, you can say aql fa'al has perfections of human beings. But you cannot say aql fa'al is a human being. You cannot say it has mahi of human being. But you can say everything that you want from human being, it's there and even more. Okay? So, mafhumul insan can be applied to that without limiting that. So what does it mean? It means it has existential perfections of human beings. But it's not an individual among other individuals of human beings. So it doesn't have the mahi of insan. وبالجملة صدق مفهوم الإنسان مثلا على الإنسان الكلي المجرد الذي نعقله. So, if we can say that that intellect which is immaterial and we understand it has, human element, it doesn't mean that it is human. It doesn't imply that what we have understood, كون معقولنا, what we have understood is fardan للماهية النوعية الإنسانية, is an individual for mahiyya, for the quality of human beings, so that حتى يكون مثالا عقليا للنوع الإنساني, so that we can say it is intellectual ideal human being, intellectual idea like مثال أفلاطوني, prototype for human being. Okay, alhamdulillah, we finish this. Inshallah, we continue next session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.